it is your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. I want to zoom in and focus in on a very common and frequent question that I'm getting in here at the channel, and that is, why do I still stay stuck? Why do I still feel so worthless? Why do I still have this agonizing, deep pain even after I feel like I want to separate from this narcissist in my life? Why do I have this ongoing saga? Why can't I pick myself up? Why am I still disorganized, these fragmented thoughts? Why am I still hurting? And that is the topic that I really want to address in this video here today. And before we get started, I want to give a huge shout out to those of you who have recently made a donation to the channel. Particularly, we have a lovely, beautiful viewer in the area of France. I so appreciate and value your viewership. I am so glad you found a resource of knowledge and tools and understanding here. I know how difficult it is to find a place where you can really focus and come to terms with some very confusing and very hurtful relationship dynamics and get them sorted out and make sense. So love you. So thank you so much for your generosity. My gratitude really goes out to you. And thank you so much for your contribution. I'm so glad we're able to reach out to you all the way over in France, and also a huge shout out to our international viewers at this time. It is amazing to be able to reach out to Turkey, Italy, France, the area of Turkey, the Netherlands. We are really in so many different countries, Australia. And it is so wonderful to be able to provide a resource of knowledge, oftentimes in areas which are really devoid of healthcare and discussion, abilities to find a support network after you've been through a relationship like this. So thank you so much for your donation to the channel. It means a lot to me, and it keeps me providing content to you to know that it's maybe making some bit of difference. So thank you once again. And I really want to get started here and really understand the dynamics of why does someone's feeling of self-worth, self-valuation, energy, positive experience, not only in the relationship, but in life at large then, after a narcissistic relationship, why is it so difficult to heal through? Why is there such a block? Why is there such a depression? Why is there such a fragmented thought process, an overwhelm of feelings? Feeling like, you can't go on, or feeling of remorse or guilt, or really a sort of deep woundedness inside that doesn't seem to go away. And that is because of many different reasons, but namely that your valuation of yourself has been filtered through the eyes of someone who does not lack empathy, someone who does not have a valuation of other people's feelings, needs, wishes, or experiences. And yet, combined with a sense of superiority, in other words, this person is always going to feel that they are entitled to have the view and opinion, even if it hurts others, even if it's quote unquote wrong, not right, you are not deserving of such treatment. They feel a compulsion to proceed. They are not going to see the flip side. It's too much of a threat to them and their ego to open up and to maybe consider the fact that what they are doing is hurtful, wrong, invalidating, and abusive of you. To them, it's an intangible, and realize that the narcissist and the psychopath are very adept at objectifying others. And as you can imagine, those people with a lack of empathy, they really don't see others and their healing, their human feeling side. They will be very much into objectification of others, which means basically seeing you as an object, a physical object, no more than, a lamp, a table, a envelope opener, a pen. An object is an object. I mean, it is replaceable. It doesn't have feelings. It's just an item in their environment that they can use to do one thing or another. A chair is to sit, et cetera, et cetera. They will objectify people in their environment, and oftentimes It depends on the dynamics, but people can marry for convenience. This person can cook and clean. This person can pay the bills. This person gives me a bed to sleep in. This place is this person's a good parent for children. They will objectify and live very parasitically in those situations and in those dynamics. And unbeknownst to you in the beginning, because especially of the overwhelming maybe love or passion or charm that this person exuded to you and filled the need, people say, well, how did I don't deserve this. Why is this happening to me? Well, realize that the narcissist will really lay their hooks in, their daggers in hard, where they can get an abundance of supply. And supply to them might be someone with an abundance of feelings. Remember that these individuals really, especially when we get into the spectrum, those individuals who are psychopathic, they are great mimicry of emotions. So they are literally like pantomime artists. If you've ever seen a circus or a pantomime, the way they, will make expressions up, this with their face, this, with their hands, it's not coming from a core within them. It is a learned and studied pantomime mimicking of emotions. They will sit and observe people and how they, how their body moves. Things that you as a, let's just say quote unquote normal feeling human being, empathetic, caring, loving, fun, special person who wants the best, who's very affectionate, all these abundance of feelings. Well, here comes, this individual who is devoid of this, who does not have this, but then will sit and gaze and watch and observe and study and assess and nod their head and will take in and be studying this. You would not think of doing that. This individual, though, will be caught up, sitting back, folding their hands, taking mental notes, and be very adept at studying and observing others' behaviors. Look at those people holding hands. Wow, that's what, quote unquote, these people must need. And I see that works. They might study neuro-linguistic, programming. Oh, look, this, people, these types of people love to hold hands. They love for me to take them to the park. They might not themselves be interested in holding hands, taking a walk to the park, having hot chocolate, going on a cruise, having a romantic getaway. This is not what these people want for that emotional valuation, that emotional experience. They don't have these emotions. It is all about the supply that they can get. And they treat others literally as objects to fill up space, to keep them amused, to keep them entertained, to get them what they need. They are extremely parasitic in nature. And parasitic meaning they're going to take the lifeblood out of that person to get what they need. And when that person is, used up, squeezed up, treated like a pawn, basically, to move around for whatever it is, whatever day, hour, month, year, whatever, when they're done, they're done. They will have no emotional connection to that person whatsoever. I mean, it's as if, their favorite restaurant just closed and there's another McDonald's right down the street. There's another this right down the street. To them, it's not a real issue. They oftentimes are juggling a source of supply, just other people who they are, targeting. I mean, it's just like you might have more than one box of cereal in the cabinet. You might have, more than one slice of bread. It is the same way with these people. They will keep a number of different supplies juggled, pawns, ready to move at their disposal. And they really don't care which pawn. If it's going to get them A, B, and C, that's all that they really care about. So that experience is very hurtful. To have been so deluded in believing the pantomime, believing the mimicry, believing the false show of emotions, learning, listening to the word salad, going through the suspicion and thinking that you needed to go through all this to consummate the relationship. That is very painful. And oftentimes people want to reduce that tension by basically the source of the tension, which means we have to work it out. It is all caught up in this one person. So it is the mind playing a trick on you, saying, basically, this is where we have to resolve it. When it has nothing to do with them, it has everything to do with the experience of being gaslighted, brainwashed, control, or really kind of living, a lie, or living, the narcissist lie, believing their mask, believing their falsehood, taking it at face value. You took it at heart value. They, it's to them, it is a show. It's, basically it's saying, wow, just like a mime, a mimist. If you don't know what a mime is, go ahead and Google it. M-I-M-E, I believe is the how to spell mime, but it is like it's like a pantomime act for them. They don't feel it. It's all an illusion. It's all an act, and so that's why some people will say, look at that pantomimist. They're very good. They make it look like a square. They make it look like this. And then they'll do contortions with their bodies and things. The the narcissist will do the very exact thing. They will put on a show. They will parade their body. They will parade their situations, and just basically make it seem as if they're doing whatever is required to keep you there. They will just do what is required. It's not because they want to. It's not because they're feeling it. It's not because they have love and passion and they want to consummate this. And if you look at oftentimes the tools of manipulation that they use, the objectification, oftentimes it is very devoid of intimacy. The carnal act is the carnal act. There's no love, affection, attention. And that's a whole nother topic, which I know we've had a lot of viewer questions on, about the use or withholding of sex. And, that's just a whole nother topic. But if you're asking that question, think again, why am I asking this question? You'll be able to answer your own question so quickly. We don't even need to do a video on that. But if you want, it is so, and very oftentimes that is the very indicator where you can look is, is it because I've been objectified in a specific way? Have my emotions not been validated? Have I felt like my presence is if I'm invisible? If you have felt these things, if you have really felt these things, but have swept it under the rug, this is just me acting oversensitive. It is, you need to correct your thinking and realize, no, you are not oversensitive. You are onto something. You are onto your truth. You're onto your real gut instinct. You've had to push this down and ground it down for so long that now it's crying out for attention. It's crying out to be embraced. It's crying out, to be listened to be nurtured, to be loved, to be acknowledged, to be, to say, yes, I hear you now. I hear you now. You're crying out for me. And it's like, wake up. Yes, smile. I'm here. I've been here for decades. You might have been engulfed by this. We have viewers who have been in relationships for decades who are just now coming through this, and they're starting their life anew. And started anew, you are. And even if it's in this very moment, no matter where this video finds you, no matter what stage of life this video finds you, it is time to start anew and begin to release that heavy-weighted feeling of the pain, because that is really the pain of not being acknowledged, validated for your emotional identity and your reality side. That is a real part of you. You need to be the one to understand and feel that, because you are the one who is feeling it. You are the one who has to bring it forth. And that is really what the recovery journal is all about. How to embrace it and really to get excited, because this is like the first little spark. It's just the first little bit of flint on steel, that flicker of really bright light that you are grasping onto. But oftentimes people, that can't be real. That I don't have the potential to be happy in this way. A lot of people brush off this little voice. They're not used to paying heed to it. Again, it's what I call they're so memorized and learned in the negative order direction of thinking that they're so used to going down the well-worn path. Go down to the valley, go down to the valley. In fact, why don't I just take a mudslide down to the valley? I'll stay there. I'm going to try to climb up. And then they go further and further down. instead of the positive, orderly direction thinking, the pod thinking, where you begin to feel whole, independent. Oftentimes you might have been criticized for feeling independent, autonomous, whole, like an individual who doesn't, who can exist in and of their own right with their own needs, wishes, desires, and feelings without this person negatively attached like a octopus, suctioning off your life, your energy, your emotions, your feelings. Love should not feel that way. Love is not, with a constant state of fear, suspicion, heavy criticism directed at you. That is not love. That is trauma bond. That is the sign of an emotional manipulator who wants to use you as a pawn, push you here, push you there, pull you there. The puppetry, once again, these are all great analogies for how they will control and manipulate others and have power over others. And then it becomes basically you end up forcing the relationship, and force is not where your power is. These are two contradictory topics. There is a discrete difference between power versus force. If you're having to force this and go against yourself, notice the statement, go against your inner voice, go against what you need, go against your limits, go against your boundaries, go against your wishes, go against, and you wonder why it has been a struggle. It is because it has been a struggle. You've been going contradictory to what you need, and oftentimes it's acknowledging that, saying, "Wow, I've really been living in denial of this." Yeah, that's a huge statement to make. That's a very scary statement to make. Because you don't know if that's ever going to end. And, if the fear or the, can I learn from this? Will it get better? And in the privacy of this video here, I will unequivocally, without a doubt, say, yes, it will get better. This will pass. This too shall pass. But you have to acknowledge it, because it's just like the elephant in the room. If you don't say, there's an elephant in the room, the elephant is going to get bigger and bigger, and it's going to make the room, it's going to destroy the room. Okay, there's an elephant here. Okay. All right. I got this. All right. And so, how do you take care of it? You acknowledge it. You see it for what it is. You say, okay, I validate this, in the safety and step by step. I'm not going to do this in an overwhelmed state. I'm relaxing and I'm getting mindful. I'm coming into a relaxed state. And just realizing that this is so wonderful and exciting to be able to let go of this denial. The denial had shored me up for a long period of time. Maybe I've memorized this denial. I'm so used to that negative orderly direction thinking. I'm so used to making this negative determination of myself. I'm so used to feeling stuck or staying stuck, or all my, self-talk was keeping me there. Okay, now I'm correcting this. I'm getting rid of this habit of denial. It is just a defense mechanism that is meant to protect you temporarily. It is. It's like a temporary protection, just like clothes are protection from the atmosphere. This denial is a protection, for you, and you need to be safe and really in the privacy to be able to confront it and say, okay, you know what? I had adapted and adjusted in this way to keep this and this going, to keep this relationship, to take care of the house, to take care of the kids, to take care of the food, whatever it is in your situation that, cause that denial to stay in place. Say, okay, no longer, I'm loosening it up. I'm chiseling it out. I'm going to start to get it out. It's been underneath like a thorn. I'm going to go very gently, very tenderly, and I'm going to get this denial out. And I'm going to become attuned to the ways in which this has been reacting in my life. And like in our recovery journal, we have so many different areas where we really need to uncover and ask the right questions. So perhaps for this video, you can ask and begin to ask yourself, in what areas have I really been living in denial? In what areas have I really been procrastinating? In what areas of my life have I really been shutting down my feelings that I really need to take a listen to? What are my real needs that I would really delight in satisfying? What have I been pushing down? What have I been pushing away for so long that it's really been clamoring for my attention? And I'm okay now to take a look at it. I'm okay. I can take a look at this here now. Now that I'm safe, I can do this. Now that I'm at peace, I can do this. Now that I understand that it's okay for me to release this denial, I'm going to begin. And begin to list 5, 10, 20 things that you can begin to do. Even if it's one little thing. If it takes two, if it's, changing my emotions for a few minutes. Begin to release these, begin to loosen them up, and begin to address this little by little. And then eventually, those strongholds which had become to take a stronghold on you will be able to loosen their grasp. And you'll realize that you had the tools of freedom in your hands all the while. It is your buddy, Peace and Harmony, with you here today. I hope that these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.